I'm so excited to take this out. Luckily, it's of course the Trailhawk package, which is added on top of just the beige chair.
You can see the actual front of it as well from the bird's eye view.
Guys, Sarah here. Thanks for coming back to my channel. If this is your first time here, then welcome. Today I am in the 2019 Nissan Maxima Platinum, which is really nice, really luxurious. It's a lovely vehicle. So let's go ahead and just show you the interior exterior of this vehicle, then we can take it on the road and talk about the drive. So looking at the exterior of this vehicle, I personally really like it. It's fun, it's nice, it's sleek, it's a little bit funky. You can see kind of on the hood, it's like the little two scoops in there, which is not the best for visibility, but it still looks great. Anyways, the front looks good. You can see the LED headlights in there too. My favorite thing, honestly, are these wheels. I like all the different spokes on there. They're a little harder to clean, but I just personally like that look. Tell me what you think down below if you like them or if you like a cleaner look, I guess. The sides are nice. They have some little swoops in there. You can see the lines just right under the door handles. Really does look good to kind of move the car back. It helps with a little bit of aerodynamics as well. And the back of this puppy just looks pretty nice too. And the exhaust tips as well give it a nice little sporty look for this vehicle. They're not super functional. You don't have like all four going, but it's still nice and it looks good. We'll hear how those sound in a minute, but opening up the trunk, super easy. You just press the button. There's also a button on the key. You can see there is the backup camera in there as well. So you get a lot of space in here. You get about 14.3 cubic feet, which is pretty good. You can get a good amount of stuff back here. You also have a first aid kit, which is really nice to have on hand. I actually used one when we had the Frontier. But pulling this up, there's like 3 layers with little plywood to get to your spare tire. You can also hide some stuff with your spare tire if you need to save it when you're going out and about. And there's no like real anywhere to grab, so you do have to grab the outside to put it down. Of course, the gas tank there. Basic key to press once, lock, unlock. Let's opener of the doors are a little bit substantial. Sorry, the ground is a mess. It's my bad. But this interior is like this orangey brown leather. It's really nice with the quilting and everything on it as well. But I'm not so sure about the color. It actually does go well with the red exterior. Not something I would pick myself. You do have your little cup holder there. You can see you can have your adjustable seats. There's not actually that many things you can adjust on there. Of course, Maxima matching right there. Now let's go ahead and hop on in. Close that door. So relatively substantial door. You do have 2 seat settings right there. Of course, you can change your mirrors, all of that. You have automatic front windows. The back windows, they are not, so you have to like press and hold them. But not the worst thing to do. Of course, we have all this. You do have your keyless push start that's actually down in the console, which is interesting. And this steering wheel just looks so nice. I love the two-tone. I really love this black. Still not so keen on the color, but with the orange stitching, it all kind of like brings it together, which doesn't make it too bad. But you have all your cruise controls on this side, your voice talking, all of that. And this side you have your sound, radio source, all of that stuff. We can look at more once we turn the car on. Down here, the heated steering wheel is actually over here, which is kind of interesting. You can put everything up and down. You can pop the trunk from here too. And you have your trip reset over here. So it doesn't have to be on any of the stocks or anything. You know what, let's go ahead and start her up. You can see the seat does move forward. Let me move it back so I can have more view. But here is just the gauges right here. So you can push this button to go through to see all your settings, your distance, all of this information go through your trip computer. All that, you can see there's only 166 miles on here. Haven't driven it this far. I'm getting the interior first, and then I will do the driver review in a couple days. But you can see there's infotainment system. I might actually do a whole separate video on the infotainment system because it is very interesting. You can have your menu, your maps, all of that. You have your fuel prices, which is one of my favorite things that's an option here, is you can see the cheapest fuel that's like nearby, how far it is without having to like pull up your phone or pull up Gas Buddy or anything like that. It just does it for you right here. You can also see your stocks and all that stuff. This one does come with a 360 view, around view, well not 360, but you know, the around view camera with your backup camera as well, which is just really nice for getting in a tight spot or anything like that. Hit menu. I love the big buttons on here. For those of you who don't know me, buttons are like my jam. They're easy, especially you're not like accidentally hitting something when you're trying to hit something else. We do have the dual climate control, which is lovely. And we have the heated and cooled seats that are knobs, so you can move them. The only thing is they stay where they are, so which is fine. We have sport mode, traction control off. We have this that moves your thing around if you don't want to be touching the screen. So when you're driving, you can see here, you can go back to your menu, back the map. So you have an actual knob that is very responsive. So it's nice. It's very responsive. It's nice for moving around. And more of the orange stitching right here. We have a fun little like cubby here where you can pop your phone in. There's like a lot of room in here, which is really nice. You have a USB, USB, and the auxiliary cord for music if you want. And the glove box is pretty substantial for this size vehicle, so you can see there's not a lot in there. Way back there is the manual and all of that. And on here, I just want to get your attention real fast. It is kind of plastic, which is, I mean, whatever, but it's a neat little design on there that you can see in kind of like a goldish color. You can of course see that whole side as well. Let's go ahead and check out the center console. You have a lot of room in here. You have a 12 volt, this is all that's in here. We have the 2 cup holders that are a good size, and that's, I mean, about it. It's relatively basic. Again, I will do a full video on this and probably have it separately. Oh, and this is kind of cool too. This is leather all here. This is the only part that's actually leather. This is not. But let's go check out that back seat. I am 5'5", so there's a lot of room. I did move this seat back more as well, so you can kind of fit some people in here. It's actually smaller than the Ultima, which is interesting. But anyway, here you have another USB, USB, and you have heated seats in the back as well, along with the same like attention to detail, which is so nice. You have a little center console if you want it, with cup holders too. And in the doors, you can see we have more cup holders. And then of course we have the sunroof that I missed from the front. So I'll show you here. Nice sunroof that goes across. It has like a weird thing in the middle which kind of cuts it off, so it's not a full panoramic, but both sides have their own little sunroof. So I can't find my engine footage, but it is pretty nice for this size car. It's a 3.5 liter V6 engine with 300 horsepower and 261 pound-feet of torque. Okay, so here's the key. The car is outside. I am inside my house, remote with my puppers. Remote start stop is super easy. All you do is press the lock button, and then you press and hold that button until it turns on. It takes about a couple seconds to do that. To turn it off, just press and hold again, and then it turns off. So before taking it on the road, let me just show you the key. It is the basic key, and as you just saw, the remote start stop is pretty nice, especially if it's cold or rainy or really hot or whatever it is. I actually had a Ultima, the 2015, a few years ago, and it had the start stop as well, which was really nice. I actually used to work in retail, so from the door of my store to my car, which was a long distance, it still would remote start stop. So when I was working in winter and it was cold, it was great. I'll try and find the exact distance of how long it works for, but it is a pretty good distance. I know at least like 40 feet, as long as it's like clear. but hopefully I can find that. If not, then sorry. So let's go ahead and start her up, and then you can see. One nice thing too is the seats move when you start the vehicle, so depending on where you're going or what you're doing, if you're tall, it like moves back, so it's easier to get in and out. I happen to be 5'5", so a little on the shorter side, so that doesn't do that much for me, but I know other people do. Let's go ahead and take her on the road and see how she does. We're also going to be doing some like twisty curvy roads, since this is the sport four-door vehicle that Nissan makes. So taking this out on the road, this vehicle is actually pretty fun. It's really nice, really luxurious. It's just a great combination for you. It doesn't quite have the right place, I think, in the market for this vehicle. It's luxurious, but then they have like the sporty options. It kind of is all over the place, so maybe that's something Nissan can look at when they fully do a remodel for the next gen. Kind of see. I have to say, this orange stitching, like, I love it. You saw it before, just looking up at it. It's really nice, and it's a great kind of fun contrast to be looking at. And going off the line, I wish I could just like floor for you. Hopefully I'll find a spot to do that, but there is some serious power. Of course, it's 300 horsepower, 261 pound-feet of torque, so that does get you like going right off the line, and especially in sport mode. With the CVT as well, I mean, putting it in sport mode, it doesn't do too much to, you know, vary your MPGs, which is kind of nice. And it's just fun to be able to drive a more sporty, luxurious car. Again, don't quite go hand in hand. It would be nice for all options, especially since Nissan does call this the four-door sports car, to have paddle shifters. It's not available in the premium trim, which I still find very odd. That for a sports car, you're not going to allow that. Again, CVT, paddle shifters don't really do too much for you anyway, so you're not missing too much, but some models have it, some models don't. It's just very different. I'm super excited too. We're actually going to take it on some curvy roads while videos for you in just a minute, so please make sure you keep staying for that. So taking this car on the highway, it does have a lot of pickup. Like, I'm already at 80 miles an hour. Of course, the frontage road I just came off of is like a 60. So it's, you know, not too hard to get up to speed, but it's nice, it's comfortable. It's not the smoothest ride, especially if you're looking for that luxury feel. And you do get some wind noise as well in this car compared to other, like, the more luxurious models. So it's, again, it's hard to kind of pinpoint where this vehicle really fits. I like it, but it just doesn't quite have a place in the market, especially trying to be as sporty and luxurious, and it just, I'm not sure. So the MPG on this car is about 20 in the city and 30 on the highway, averaging about 24. I've actually been doing mostly city driving, so right now I'm averaging 20.4, so that's relatively accurate. At the end, I'll get the exact MPGs after doing highways and stuff, but it's a good little cruiser for going around, great traveling. So let's go ahead and take it on some curvy roads, see how it is. Hopefully the camera back there is working and gets a good view. It's kind of hard because there's not a ton of visibility with this car, which you don't think about too much until you're like filming, but the hood kind of comes up and you have the big radar in front of the mirror as well. But it's very confident on these roads. I am in sport mode. It was good for passing. I should have had the cameras on while I was passing. Didn't quite think about that one. But it does get you a lot of good power going through. It's good. It's comfortable. It's really fun. And of course, these roads are pretty nice too. I wouldn't recommend doing this at any type of speed in this vehicle until you're comfortable with driving on curvy roads and stuff like that. I will drive this road on a pretty regular basis, so I know it well. But you can just hear that engine, which sounds really nice. I mean, a good V6 is hard to find these days too, especially most cars are moving down to the 4-cylinder with turbocharging or any extras added in there to help with fuel economy. This is still a V6. Going through. Big curve. Yeah, it's really not too bad. Again, I'm just not super used to the front wheel drive, which is a little bit of something to get used to. Again, thinking race car, sports car, anything like that is always rear wheel drive or all wheel. So hopefully that is a new thing that Nissan will bring on as well. Yeah, I really wish I had some paddle shifters right now just to play around with, even though it's not super sporty, but that's something that's different and fun. Let's make sure he's stopping.
Right. Yeah, it looks like you see. Yeah. He's rolling. Okay.
Yeah, definitely fun on the curves. Hope you enjoyed watching this, and let's get my final thoughts now. Okay, so what are my real thoughts on this car? I know in this review it's very mixed. I think Nissan kind of needs to figure out if they want to make it like a very sporty car, like they're trying to sell it as, and kind of just reconfigure it for the next gen, making it more like a Kia Stinger. Or do they want to stick with like the luxury option like that and maybe kind of go that way? Being the flagship vehicle for Nissan, it really is good. I'm a little bit confused at what exactly it's trying to be. Again, it doesn't really fit into the full-size sedan market anymore because it's a lot smaller, especially since it's smaller than the Ultima now. Cars are getting bigger. It just doesn't quite have a space right now, which makes it really hard to talk about. I like it. I like driving it around. It's fun on the curvy roads. It's fun on the highway. It's fun in the city. It just doesn't quite have a place in the market right now. So if it kind of gets fine-tuned a little bit more, I think it'd be a lot easier to place and kind of go with. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
That makes sense, kind of, I guess. I don't know. Anyways, I like it. Would I buy it with my own money? That's a question. I think I would get it as a daily driver. It's really fun. This is super nice and luxurious. I love the leather. Again, I'm not sure how well the leather is actually going to hold up because it's so nice and soft. Like, it does really feel, this model especially, feels a lot more like an Infiniti than it does a Nissan. And that's kind of saying a lot. I think if they did make it too luxurious, it would kind of knock out the Infiniti and not have a place for it. So now this vehicle is in such a weird position. But I do like it. If you're looking for something like this, if you want a bigger, like a full-size car, I would probably check out the Ultima. It's just completely new, redesigned, and it's awesome. So do make sure you check out that. Maybe compare both side by side and kind of see what you're thinking about. But yes, so I like it. I would definitely look into it as a daily. And again, comfortable, not the most comfortable ride, but I still do enjoy it. And I really enjoyed having it this week, and it's just been really fun. So thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it so much, and I will see y'all next time.